Hello everyone and welcome to week 1 of 5 of our lower body strength and core. So you've already done your warm up, you are nice and warm. We're going to get you started right away on our first superset. We will be doing 4 sets of the following. We have 2 exercises following a theme today. We are going to be working with our isometric or our pausing work. So starting off with this first exercise, it's going to be squats. We have 10 reps of our paused squats. Now, ideally, I would like you to weight this. Today, we are going to be using this chair right here, as well as underneath I have my Acon dumbbells and my loop bands. So let's go ahead and grab onto our weights. I'm going to be using both of my 8s front loaded, getting myself into a squat stance. Feet a little wider than the hips, slight angle out in the toes, making sure those weights are in front of us, but not resting on our chest and shoulders. Nice strong core, belly button into the spine, taking a big breath in, taking our time, 2 seconds down and holding for 1, 2, 3 seconds at the bottom. Nice quick 1 to 2 seconds up. That would be 1 rep, and we are doing 10 of these. So again, the focus here is at the bottom of that squat. We're trying to hold in a nice tight and strong position, not losing the tension. So we don't want to go any lower than 90 degrees for 1, 2, an honest 3-second count, and then we stand up again following that normal 2-second tempo. So that's going to be our first exercise, and you are doing 10 reps total. With this one, we're following it with a banded side step. So we're going to grab onto our loop bands, medium to heavy strength, putting it around our heels, coming to one side of our mat, getting ourselves into that strong hip hinge position. So we want hip width apart in our feet, soft knees. We're going to hinge back so we get that nice tight tension in our glutes, stepping wider than hip width, hip width. The length of our mat is going to be our gauge. We're going 2 times there and back. So taking these steps, never allowing my feet to come closer than hip width. That would be 1. You are going to do 2 times there and back. Following this, we'll have about 30 to 45 seconds of rest, and then we're going back into our paused squats. 10 reps total. So what you're going to do right now is press pause, complete 4 rounds of that, and I will see you back here for part 2, second superset. All right, welcome back, everyone. We are here for part 2 with a very similar theme. We're going to be working with a split squat now, using our chair, our bench, our ottoman, something along those lines, to elevate our back foot in this split squat. We want to add resistance to this. So I'm going to be using my dumbbells, holding 1 in each hand down by my side here, working with that same tempo or style that we did in those squats. So 1, 2 down, and then 1, 2, 3 seconds at the bottom before we push up. That's going to be us for 10 reps on each side. So we have 10 on this side with the 3-second pause, and then we'll switch, and we're doing 10 on the other side with our 3-second pause. With this one, we have a hip thrust. Now we have the option of adding that weight onto our hips. We're going to use the same bench or chair to elevate our upper back, our shoulders. So we'll lower ourselves down. And if you want that weight on our hips, we can hold it in position with our hands. And you have 15 reps of these hip thrusts. Now these ones, again, we're just normal, 2 seconds up, 2 seconds down. Although if you do want to challenge yourself, if you don't have very many options for weights, you can always add that same pause at the top here through your 15 reps. 4 sets is the number to beat for this one as well, and we are not taking any rest. So I want you to go back to back between these two without that 30 to 45 seconds that we had in the first part for these ones. So that's what's up. 10, 10, 15 here, and that's all. Hit pause, get it done, and I'll see you back here for the next part. All right, hello again. We are back for part 3, which is going to actually be the last part to our lower body strength before we do our core work. For this last part, we have our 2 exercises. Going back into a hip thrust variation, we're going to be working with a single leg hip thrust, adding in that same pause that we talked about, we had in our split squats and our squats. Now is going to be in your single leg hip thrust. So we're going to hold it up in this strong position for 3 seconds before we lower down, And we're doing 10 reps on each side. So we have 10 over here, and then we'll switch, 10 over here. Same option if you would like to add a dumbbell to your hips, you can feel free to do so. 10 on each side. With this one, we have a sumo stance straight leg deadlift. So we're going to grab onto our dumbbells, holding them in front of us, standing hip width apart, and then taking a slight step out to the side, angling those toes out to the side, putting ourselves into a bit of that external rotation. Soft knees, weights are going to stay nice and close, and we're going to push our hips back behind us. Feeling that tension in the back of the legs, we'll squeeze our butt to lift ourselves up. That's 1. We're doing 15 reps total. So we'll work with that 2 seconds down, 2 seconds up, 4 sets of these 2 movements. So we have our paused single leg hip thrust, 10 reps on each side, our sumo stance straight leg deadlift, 15 reps total, 4 rounds, my friends. And then we have our last part, core work. So pause, get that last part of the strength done, and I will meet you back here for the core. All right, welcome back, everyone. We are here for the last part of today's session, the core work, which is all down on the floor, and we do not need any equipment, just our bodies and our mats and our timer. We're going to be working off of a timer. Now, we're going to go ahead and set this timer now for 60 seconds on, 20 seconds off. We're working for 60 seconds, resting for 20 seconds, or switching between these 3 movements, and we will be completing 4 rounds total of the following. So let's get on down there. Let's talk about what we're doing. We have our first one, which is our crossover crunch. So if you need a little bit more space, you can go ahead and just push that chair out of the way, move your bench out of your way. We do not need anything else. Yes, yes. Crossover crunch. So this is one that we're going to switch halfway. 60 seconds, which means we're spending 30 seconds on one side, 30 seconds on the other side. We're going to lay on our back here, reaching our arms behind our head, laying our legs out. One leg is going to go straight. This hand's going to stay back here as we cross over and crunch that opposite hand or foot, having that shoulder blade leave the floor over here. 30 seconds on this side. Opposite foot is going to stay on the floor. Opposite hand is going to stay on the floor. 30 seconds over here. And then as soon as we see we're at 30 seconds, because you got to watch the clock on this one, we will switch sides, and we're doing 30 seconds over on this side over here. So that's our first one. Following that, again, you're going to have 20 seconds, but you actually don't have to go anywhere because the next one is a bridge walk. So we're going into that hip bridging position. We practiced this one in our warm-up today. Low back into the floor, hips up to the very top, and we're going to walk those hips and hold it here for 1, 2, 3 seconds, and then we'll put it back down and switch. 1, 2, 3 seconds. Working on that stability of the hips, trying to keep everything as strong and stable as possible. 1 minute, that will be you, and you're gonna feel the glutes by the end of that one. 20 seconds of rest, and then we have our last and final one, which is a plank hold. Nothing fancy about it. You're going to be working with holding a plank, forearms in this parallel position, 1 minute, trying to be as strong as you can in that plank, breathing through it, and then that will be your first round. You are doing 4 sets total of that. So set your timer if it's not already set, and after you complete your 4 sets of those 3 movements, you are done. And all you need to do is stretch, and as we already know, the stretching is independent and it is already recorded. So you're gonna have to scroll down to the bottom of the screen and find your lower body stretches to complete for today. All right, go get it done, and I will catch you guys tomorrow or next day for our upper body.